Hello, everyone. So lovely to see you all here. And yes, for some people it is morning, but also for some people it might be evening. So yeah, lovely. Okay, so carry on with the chat, please, and let me know where you're from, how you are. Maybe also if you've meditated before. So is this the first time that you are coming into a meditation session, or do you meditate? And people are coming from everywhere, from Kenya, Australia, Germany, the UK, everywhere. Lovely. Love it. Okay, so today we are doing self-care to move forward, and we're going to do it in meditation. So meditation session. So I'll explain. My name's Bindi Shah, and I am a meditation teacher and a writer. And I have been teaching meditation actually for a very long time. I started studying meditation in 2002 as part of my Ayurveda and yoga course in India, and I was there for a year, and I came back in 2003 and started to teach yoga and meditation. So nearly 20 years now I've been teaching. And for me, oh my goodness, with teaching, that also comes back to me with the healing. So I love it, and I can't get enough of meditating myself and also teaching. So yeah, I really love it. If you do have any questions, please do ask in either the Q&A or in the chat. That's fine, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them at the end. I'm thinking would be better. So then, self-care and self-care to move forward. So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, yes, moving forward from childlessness, or more in the sense of the grief of childlessness, the trauma of childlessness, moving into a more kind of accepting place of where you are, a gentle place with your life. And also other trauma, because I know for me, definitely, and for a lot of you, childlessness will not be the only thing that you have experienced in this life, the only traumatic thing that you have experienced. So moving forward, moving on, allowing yourself to be in life is so important for all of these things. And a way that you can do that is actually through self-care. So what is self-care, first of all? Self-care is caring for yourself. Sorry, caring for yourself, thinking about yourself, being gentle to yourself, bringing in things into your life where you can be a little bit more focused on what's good for you. And what I hear a lot of, and I'm sure some of you might have heard a lot of as well, is self-care selfish? Because you're thinking about yourself and you're caring for yourself, and that can seem selfish on the outside, but really it's not, because the more that you can care for yourself, the more you can actually care for others and be for others, whether it's professionally or personally. So that's the way I see self-care. It's really giving to yourself so that you don't deplete, that you don't feel completely empty, and that you do have enough then to give to others if you need to. So that's how I see self-care. Yes, sometimes being a human feels tricky. Oh my goodness, definitely. Okay, and so self-care then is physical, emotional, and spiritual. So this is the way that I see self-care. I don't see it just as one aspect. So I see the being as a whole being. So you'll have a physical self, which is your body, your physical being. You have your emotional self, which is your mental health, your emotional self. And then you have the spiritual side of you, which is your soul, which is the spiritual aspect of you, which can definitely get overlooked. So we're going to focus on all three aspects and self-care in all three parts of you. So what is physical self-care? If you have ideas as well, please put them in the chat. Physical self-care is anything that you do to care for your body, your physical. Movement that you do could be exercise, yoga, walking, things that you are giving into yourself. So those nourishing foods that you take in, the water that you drink, and making sure that you're drinking enough water. All of those things are physical things. The soothing baths that you take, you know, sometimes when you've had a long day and that's what you need, that is your physical self-care. The massages that you might do, the reflexology that you might do, all of these things are physical parts of self-care, which are good for the body and which help you. You know, we hold on so much stress in the body. You might be holding on in your shoulders, your back, all of that stress. Physical self-care can really help with all of that. Emotional self-care, that is definitely this session, definitely meditation, reading, writing, all of the creative things that you do. So perhaps you do some artwork, do music, do dance, anything like that is very much for your emotional self. And spiritual self-care is things like self-love, any spiritual things you do, so prayer, spiritual reading that you might do, forgiveness is spiritual self-care, letting go of things, all of those things, and also meditation. So some parts of self-care can actually be for all aspects, or maybe you're doing something like the meditation, for example, which is emotional and spiritual. Reading could be emotional and spiritual. Taking a walk could be emotional because it's also good for your emotional self and it's for your physical. So like that, some self-care will go through all aspects or a couple of the aspects of yourself. So is everyone okay so far? Are there any questions or thoughts? I can see some people do meditate regularly, which is, yeah, which is really what I would love for everyone. It's that regularity. Meditating weekly, meditating a couple of times a week, meditating several times a week. It's also important. Okay, so, oh, thank you. Yes, I feel, so someone said, I love your gentle energy. And how I feel with life is we've all been through so much, haven't we? We really have. And now, from now on, I feel that everyone needs more gentleness, more kindness, more compassion. So when I teach, I'm very, very gentle, and whatever you need for that day is what you receive. So yes, gentleness and what you need from it. So I'm always very gentle with all of my students, and I do teach weekly classes as well for Childless Not by Choice. So you'll find all of the information afterwards. Okay, so if everyone's ready, move your body if you need to, and sit wherever you want to, and you can lie down as well. So be aware when you lie down, if you're a little bit more tired, you may fall asleep, and that is okay as well, because your body needs it and you do receive the healing via the sleep. But if you can, maybe stay seated at least for a little while. And what we're going to do is we're going to do breathing first of all. Then I'm going to do a few affirmations around self-care. Then there'll be a little bit silence for you to really move into that self-care aspect of yourself. Then we're going to do a ball of light and grounding at the end. So it'll be a lovely structured session for you, very much guided and very much relaxed. So when you're ready, when you're seated and comfortable, close your eyes allowing yourself to be with yourself for a moment. And we've spoken quite a bit actually around self-care, around what's going on with the meditation class. So allow yourself those thoughts and also allow them to pass. So there are always thoughts, always. That's the way of life, isn't it? Thinking, being in your mind a lot of the time. Allow those thoughts to be heard, so acknowledge them. And also allow them to pass. They don't necessarily have to stay in your mind. Acknowledge, allow them to pass. And then we're gently going to move to breathing. So very gently inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose or the mouth. And allowing your breath now to be the focus. So you've acknowledged your thoughts, they've passed, and now your breath is your focus. Inhale and exhale. And to relax yourself a little bit more, you're going to exhale your breath for longer than you're inhaling. So inhale for a count of 4 in your own time, and then exhale for a count of 6, 7, or 8. And this longer exhalation allows you to relax the body. And you can do this breathing whenever you need to. So perhaps if you're in a stressful situation in your day and you want to move into a more relaxed state for yourself, exhale for longer. So take your time, inhale for 4, exhale 6, 7, or 8. Allow your breath to relax you. And the more relaxed you are, the better and clearer the meditation. So always taking your time to relax before you meditate. And also relax the body. So if your body aches at all, please move it. Don't feel you have to stay in one position the whole time. Move if you need to. And then we're gently going to move into self-care, caring for yourself and what that looks like. So I'll start with some affirmations, and these are statements that I will speak out, and you can either listen or you can also repeat to yourself. I am able to care for myself. Self-care is good for my ability to move forward. Caring for myself helps me take steps forward. Self-care makes me feel worthy. Self-care makes me feel worthy. So often in this life, we don't feel worthy. And the more you can take care of yourself, the more you can feel that you deserve it and that you're worth it. I can gently add in movement for my physical self-care. I can gently add in movement for my physical self-care. What physical self-care feels good for you? I make sure that I eat nourishing food. I drink enough water. When I say no, I am caring for my emotional self. Often we can have the tendency to say yes to everything, and that can tire us out. When I say no, I am caring for my emotional self. When I don't overcommit, I am caring for my emotional self. I bring more creativity into my life. The writing, the artwork, the music. What creativity are you bringing in? I let go of things which do not serve me. This is my self-care. I let go of things which do not serve me. This is my self-care. As I speak these sentences and as you repeat them, there may be doubts coming in. There may be your critical voice, which is saying, no, you don't deserve it. And if that voice does come in, take a few deep breaths. Breathe that out if you can. Release that critical voice. Yes, you are deserving. Yes, you can take care of yourself and give yourself that time, that attention. It is important. It is important for me to move forward. So yes, I will look after myself. It is easy for my spiritual self to be ignored. I ignore it no longer. It is easy for my spiritual self to be ignored. I ignore it no longer. It has been hard for me to forgive the decisions I've made which have led to childlessness. It has been hard for me to forgive the decisions I've made which have led me to childlessness. I must bring in forgiveness of myself for my self-care. I forgive myself deeply. I forgive myself deeply. Self-forgiveness is so important for spiritual self-care and something which can get forgotten. As I move forward with self-care, I will start bringing in joy. As I move forward with self-care, I will start bringing in joy. What spiritual self-care feels good for you? Meditation, self-love, prayer. What will you bring in? So I'm going to give you a few minutes in silence to form your own self-care. What do you like doing for your physical being, for your emotional being, and for your spiritual being? What will bring you some joy? What will bring you some peace? And what is easy as well to bring in? So always start with the small steps first, the easiest things first. Bring them in and then allow them to grow, and then move into the slightly bigger things to bring in for yourself. Always start with the ease first. So a few minutes of silence, see what comes in. May come in as images, reflection, thoughts. Allow it all in. And remember, if that critical voice comes in again, saying that you're not deserving, gently breathe it out if you can. Nice deep exhalation. Knowing that yes, you are worthy. And also that self-care is so important for the movement forward, the movement through, so that you can get to a gentler place in life where there can be a little bit more joy or moments of joy. And depending on where you are in your own journey, this can seem difficult. But believe me, the more that you do, the more can come in those moments of joy. And then very gently going to start surrounding with a ball of light. And a ball of light is something you can do as well for your spiritual self-care. So the ball of light is above you, below you, to the sides, front and back. You're sitting or lying down with this ball of light around you, light energy. Any color, first color that comes to you. And this ball of light can be very close to the body, or it can be further out, so it can fill up the whole of the space that you're in. And the ball of light acts as a boundary, so that things which are not for you can bounce off. They don't need to come in. And things which are loving and good for you, such as self-care, can come in. So grow your ball of light, make it as strong as you can, your boundary. And really notice how that can be good for your spiritual self-care and also for your emotional self. Allowing you to say no to things, allowing things to bounce off, things which are not needed. And the ball of light is something you can do whenever you need to. So if you find yourself somewhere where there's a lot of chaos perhaps, or a lot of different energy around you, remind yourself that you can put yourself into a ball of light and be then in your own energy. And then very gently grounding. And grounding helps you to be back in the moment, to be back here. And it also helps that connection with the earth and with nature. So very gently allow your focus to move down the body, down to the ground, to the physical earth. And when you're at the ground, moving your energy through the ground, through the layers of the earth. And this is grounding. Allows you to be in yourself, your stability, your inner self. So the inner self is where your inner strength is, your security, so that you feel more secure in yourself. And as your energy moves down into the ground, further and further, if you want, it can form roots like tree roots. Or it can simply be the energy, whatever feels good for you visually. And it moves deeper and deeper. And the more it moves down, the more grounded you feel. And you're also allowing in that connection with the earth and with nature, which is so important. What's your connection with nature at the moment? What's going on around you, where you live? Allowing in that nature. And grounding is important after meditation, because in meditation we go inward and we can go quite deep inward. We can get quite strong visuals, quite strong reflections. And grounding after meditation helps you to be back in this moment of time, back here. And that's very important. That's very important for your life and for your physical being, that you're here now. And then when you feel grounded, and you'll know when you feel grounded, there'll be a secure feeling, especially that inner self security. When you feel secure in yourself, you know who you are, that kind of feeling. That's real grounded. And grounding is definitely a process. So if this is the first time that you're doing it, please carry on. Do it often. Do it a few times during the week. Get used to feeling in your own self, in your own stability. And then gently bringing yourself to your breath again. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice how your breath sounds and feels. Especially any changes in your breathing from the start. And then notice your body. Move it a little if you can, or if you feel that you want to. You might want to stretch. And then be aware of things around you. Maybe there are some sounds around you. What can you hear? And then open your eyes. What can you see? What's going on? And take your time. So there's no rush to move out of meditation, just as there's no rush to move into meditation. It takes time for your body to calm, and it takes time for your body to come out of that peace and calm as well. And then when you are back and you're here, maybe you can let us know in the chat that you're back. And I had taken away my video, and then Steph's came back, so I hope that didn't disturb anybody during the meditation. Yes, affirmations. I find affirmations so helpful, because even sometimes when you're not feeling it and you repeat the affirmations to you, you do start feeling it in your body, because affirmations are on a deeper level. They're not simply sentences. There's intention behind them, and that can feel really powerful within. And how did people do with their own silence and their own physical, emotional, or spiritual self-care? How did that go? Yes, you do start to feel that intention within your body. So there's a question, so I will repeat the question and then I'll answer it. Does anyone else have sudden short bursts of anger during the self-care? Other times tears are there from start to finish. So do you mean during the meditation? I'm guessing you mean during the meditation rather than during when you're doing the self-care. And yes, like during meditation, okay, so when we meditate, we're going inside. We're actually going through different layers of the self, which are not often heard. So I hope that makes sense, because in a normal day-to-day, situations in life, there are always distractions. There's always things that can keep you away from your inside, your inner self, and things can remain hidden. When you meditate, you're going to that side of you, you're going to that inner self, that inner part of you, that hidden part of you. So yes, things will come up to the surface. So that anger that you can feel during meditation is your emotional self coming through. It's an emotion. So sometimes you feel the anger, sometimes you feel the tears, sometimes you feel the hurt, the pain. All of that can come through, because that is so often hidden and suppressed, right? It's like, oh no, we can't do that, we can't do that, that's not something that's coming up. And it comes up then when you're quiet and silent. So yes, to that question, it can be very normal, and yes, the tears are extremely normal as well. Tears are interesting, because tears come up when you recognize yourself, and also as a release. So when you cry, when you have those tears, you're going into a deep release as well, and you're recognizing those hurt parts of you. People are saying they often feel tearful. Yes. And also that you're taking time for yourself. So you've all come here and taken this time for yourself, and that's so precious. And often that can feel so emotional, because you might not be used to taking time for yourself. So that can feel very emotional. You might be someone who's always doing for others all the time, and now suddenly you're here for yourself. That is so emotional. And I thank you all for doing that. And please, please appreciate yourself for doing that as well, especially if that's not normal for you. Did anyone have any physical, emotional, spiritual self-care that came in that you're perhaps going to do, that you're going to start doing? And of course, if there are any more questions, please do ask. You can ask in the chat or in the Q&A. Yes, someone said I would like to meditate regularly, and that to me is the most important thing. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be long at all. 5-10 minutes a day is enough really for that regular practice. Maybe having a longer meditation once a week and setting the intention for yourself, and yes, doing it, listening to this recording again, coming to classes if you can manage that. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel as well with a few free meditations on there that you can do as well. Yes, looking forward to re-listening and deepening the practice. Chanting came up, yes, as an emotional or as a spiritual self-care. Lovely. Someone's asking, how do we find your classes? They are on my website. So bindishah.com is my website, and the classes are specifically for childless, not by choice. So they're very safe spaces where you can find healing, and also you can find connection with other people, which is really important as well, because as we said, moving deeper in, when you get into that deep place, you don't then want the meditation teacher to say something which will then trigger you or which will bring you more sadness. So I feel that it's very important to have these safe, secure spaces where we can meditate and go in deeper with other people who understand and who will be kind and compassionate about our journey, and not not saying things which could hurt. I mean, they might not be intentionally hurtful, but we all know how these statements that people say can hurt us, right? Exactly. Being triggered, even if it's not intended, because a lot of people don't intend to, of course, but it does hurt very deeply. Are there any other questions or thoughts or self-care? So people have talked more about the emotional and spiritual self-care, which they would like to do. Did any physical self-care parts come up for anyone, maybe? So someone has said, a part of my own self-care is to seek spaces where motherhood isn't the assumption. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, that's really nice. And actually, that's so powerful, isn't it? Because usually that is the assumption, parenthood, motherhood. So seeking out those spaces, yeah, lovely, which aren't. Yeah. So we've got a few minutes left then for questions and things. Oh, yes. Okay. So physical self-care. I want to do yoga as self-care. Yes. Yes. Any type of movement is that physical. And that's so good for the stresses in the body, letting those go. I don't know if Steph wants to come back in to share anything. Oh, there's already a yoga session on the website as well. So
Yeah, I was just
from
going to say,
yesterday.
that was
Yeah.
a dual and true, but and the rest of the day we've got different sessions. We've got body connection, we've got connecting through art, and the chanting session. So there's options to pick and choose what you feel is right for you, like you say, for self-care.
Yeah. There's a lot of self-care today, actually. There's a lot of options. And there's more, isn't there? There's a lot of those spaces which are for us now as well within that self-care, which is so important.
It's like from previous years, we've got EFT sessions as well. So there's a mix of all, you know what I mean? Because I think it's good to be able to say to people, here are sessions, you know, you're not going to get a trigger from them because they're specifically for us.
Yes.
Being led by people from our community.
Yeah.
And they're there for you to pick and choose as and when. Take that self-care moment. So yeah, thank you, Bindi. As I said, I didn't intend to get crash your session, but because
no, it's nice for you. Yeah, it's nice to come back as well for me. It was someone else who said I would listen to more joyful music and just dance for myself. Yes, dancing around the room, nobody's watching, and just allowing yourself to have those moments of a little bit of joy.
Yeah, we've done that in the group I run. They've done a compilation of music that is uplifting that you can go and listen to. Do you know what I mean? And I think
yes, definitely. Somebody's actually asked a question. Will you be putting the affirmations anywhere? I can I don't, Steph, I can send them to you, or you'll feel free to email me anyone as well for them, but I can send them to Steph.
Yeah, if you've got them already written out, please send them to me, because if not, I was going to replay it and actually write them down.
Oh no, I'll do it. I'll do them.
I didn't know if you would just done it by off the top of your head. But yeah, no, I'd like to add the affirmations to the recording.
Okay, lovely.
See them separately.
Lovely. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do that.
No, it's perfect to have things like that together. So sometimes people just want to read it or pick out the ones that are there for them that day.
Yeah.
And read them again, or put them on the pin board, or do whatever it is they can to sort of visualize.
Yeah. And I find these affirmations just help you feel prepared to bring in the self-care, because there is always that negative voice and things around, not feeling deserving and worthy about looking after yourself. So it's kind of that preparation and then allowing in that self-care. Yeah.
No, it was beautiful. Thank you so much. I didn't want to come back.
Thank you.
I'm going to go and stomp my feet in ground a bit more in a minute.
Yeah, well, thank you all for coming as well, and for being here. As I said, you know, you took the time for yourself, which is so important, and went within, and you know, thank you for joining, whether it was like in the morning or the evening, depending on where the time was. Thank you for that.
It's been brilliant, Bindi, so thank you so much, and we will speak soon, definitely again. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.